What if the reason you keep struggling financially isn't actually about money? What if you're not just irresponsible or bad with money? I think a lot of people are running financial habits on autopilot without even realizing it. And I also think a lot of people are trying to change their finances without realizing how unconsciously they're living around money in the first place. And that is what this video is about. Here's the thing about money that I think most people miss. Money isn't just math. I mean, yeah, technically it's numbers, income, expense, debt, budgets, and all that. But in real life, money is emotional, it's psychological, it's tied to stress, identity, habits, shame, comfort, avoidance, all of that. And if you don't understand what's happening underneath the numbers, you can keep restarting financially over and over again without ever understanding why you're stuck in the first place. Okay, let me be honest. For a long time, I thought my money problem was simple, like a formula, so to speak. I just needed more discipline, budget harder, spend less, be more strict. That's it. So I would get motivated, make a plan, feel good about it for like 3 days. And then something stressful would happen, or I would feel overwhelmed or mentally exhausted from everything else going on in my life. And then suddenly I would go from, okay, getting my life together to whatever, you know what, maybe I deserve this. And next thing you know, I'm scrolling Amazon for 2 hours, looking at random stuff that I don't even need, adding things to my cart just for that dopamine hit of imagining a different version of my life, right? I was buying things for a version of me that actually didn't exist. Sometimes I was stressed, sometimes I was bored, sometimes emotionally drained, sometimes just trying to escape my own thoughts for a little while. And I didn't realize for a long time how emotional all of it actually was. I kept treating it like a math problem when it was really a pattern problem. So here's the cycle I think a lot of people are stuck in, and me included. And maybe you will recognize yourself in this. Stress leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to temporary relief. Relief leads to guilt. And guilt leads to a restart. And then the stress comes back and the whole thing repeats again. And it doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just avoiding your bank account for a week, or, and that was me, obsessively checking it every 5 minutes, like the numbers are magically gonna change, or saying next month will be different, or emotionally spending because your brain wants relief from stress for 5 seconds. And the scary part is, after a while, the cycle becomes automatic. You stop consciously choosing it. Your brain just starts running the same financial script over and over again on autopilot. And honestly, I think that's why shame makes everything worse, because shame makes you avoid, and avoidance keeps the pattern alive. It is not a character flaw, it's a pattern, and patterns can change. But first, you have to actually see them. Okay, this is the part I think is gonna hit hard for some people. You have been in financial stress for so long that calm actually starts to feel unfamiliar. And I know that sounds weird, but think about it. When your nervous system spends years in stress, urgency, survival mode, financial chaos, your brain starts treating that as normal. That becomes the familiar emotional environment. So even when you want stability, your habits can quietly pull you back towards chaos because chaos feels familiar. Not because you're trying to fail, not because you don't care, but because your nervous system is choosing familiar over better. And I think intentional living is really about noticing those automatic survival patterns before they fully take over. Because you're not just fighting bad habits, you're fighting emotional conditioning your brain has normalized over time. So, what actually helped me? Because I don't want this to just be a theory. The biggest shift for me was stopping the habit of treating money like a moral issue. Like every financial mistake meant I'm irresponsible, I'm lazy, I'm bad with money. Familiar? Because here's what shame does, it makes you avoid, and you cannot fix something you were too emotionally overwhelmed to look at. So instead of trying to become perfect financially, I started focusing on clarity. Like, okay, what are the numbers? What are the priorities? What is actually happening here? Not perfection, awareness. And to be honest, this is another place where AI has actually helped me. Not in some AI magically fix my finances kind of way, but in a help me organize this so my brain stop treating it like a crisis. Sometimes I will literally just dump bills, debit, stress, goals, all of it, and ask it to break things into smaller, manageable steps. Because when everything feels emotionally massive, your brain freezes. But when things feel smaller, clear, your nervous system stops treating it like danger. And here's the thing I really want you to take from this. You do not build a healthier relationship with money through shame. You build it through awareness, through honesty, through noticing the patterns while they're happening instead of attacking yourself afterward. Because if you keep walking around identifying as I'm always broke, I'm irresponsible, I'm terrible with money, your behavior will keep reinforcing that identity. That's how identity works. You are gonna act like the person you believe you are. The shift isn't about becoming perfect with money. It's becoming someone who notices the spiral earlier. Someone who catches the emotional spending faster. Someone who pauses before reacting automatically. That is the real shift. But look, I'm not here to yell at people about lattes and avocado toast. I like them too. And even less to tell everyone to grind harder. I really think most people don't need more shame around money. What most people actually need is awareness, structure, emotional regulation, and smaller, safer steps forward. Because staying stuck financially usually isn't just about money. A lot of the time, it's about the patterns underneath it, the identity, the emotional habits, the autopilot behaviors nobody ever taught you to notice. I think awareness is what interrupts the autopilot, like literally. not just with money, with almost every area of life. And once you start seeing those patterns clearly, that's when real change actually becomes possible. Okay, I'm really curious about this one. What's one money habit or pattern you have noticed in yourself? Doesn't have to be something you fixed, just something you became aware of. No judgment at all. One of mine, grocery shopping. Go figure. I used to buy way too much food. Not even junk food sometimes, healthy food too. Like I was emotionally preparing for the apocalypse every week. My freezer was overflowing. Produce would go bad constantly. And then I would just go buy the same exact things after a few days. And I didn't realize at the time how emotional that habit actually was. So drop yours in the comments. Your answer might really help someone else feel less alone. And if this video made you think of someone that is constantly stressed about money or stuck in that restart cycle, send it to them. Hit the like button if something in here clicked for you, and subscribe if you're not already. More videos coming on patterns, mindset, intentional living, self awareness, money, habits, all of it, you name it. Any ideas, drop it in the comments as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.